G'day guys, Tills20 here and welcome back to Parkitect. In today's episode we're going to be doing a lot of detail work. I wanted to get a lot of the shop fronts all detailed up in this episode, and that way in the next episode we can focus on doing the main entrance for the park. So yeah, we're getting kind of close to the entrance, which is really exciting because if you're brand new here, we are doing a lot of work around the outskirts of the city so far, and just doing heaps of detail on this commercial district, which is basically sitting on the outskirts of the theme park, but is still owned by me. It's still owned by $2 Studios, and when we finally open up the park, all this whole area will be usable by the people visiting the park, so they'll be going to all the shops and stuff. So I did want it to be fairly detailed. I want it to be really lively as well, so I'm putting a lot of work into the detail and making sure that all these stop fronts have very specific designs to them, because I didn't want them just to look like regular stores. So I mean, I guess, you know, if this was a shopping plaza or like a mall or something like that, then there's no way that this amount of detail work, I guess theming is the word I'm looking for. There's no way this sort of theming would be done in just a regular old shopping mall. So instead, I really wanted to make it feel like it was an amusement park and not just a regular shopping district. So each storefront has a different theme to it, and like near where the station is, I think you guys saw me place in the last episode fashion style or like high-end fashion stores. Whereas on this side, I wanted there to be a little bit more of a theme to the areas. So you can see I've created like a jungle-esque type of storefront. So I guess, you know, that might be themed to some like movie, or might be, you know, have some sort of adventure type of theming to it. So it wouldn't just be like, you know, it might be, maybe it's souvenirs, who knows. You know, feel free to figure out what each storefront is selling, or, you know, the theme to it. Because I was just placing down items and just sort of thinking, all right, what sort of theming do I want for this particular store? And what made it really easy was like cycling through the different types of themes that they had within Parkitect, and, you know, just using that as the theme for that store. And that was really fun, and it actually made it feel a lot more like a theme park rather than it just being a shopping center, because that's what I really didn't want this whole area to feel like. I didn't want it just to feel like a shopping center with regular old stalls. Stores, not stalls. I really love the fact that it's still a theme park. And yeah, so you can see that it's pretty well detailed. I really love the way these storefronts turn out, by the way. They're really fun. A little later on down the track in this episode, we build something similar to Hard Rock Cafe. So I end up building something like that, except it's not Hard Rock Cafe, it's going to be something of my own creation. Because in the last episode, I did mention that I don't want to be doing brand names. I don't want to be doing real movie titles or TV show titles, or real theming from the real world. Instead, I did want to do my own knockoff, my own spin of it. So you'll be seeing like similar things to what you know normally see in theme parks and you know, Universal-esque type of amusement parks, but instead it's going to be my own thing. You guys came up with some really funny names. I can't even remember them off the top of my head, but yeah. I mean, think about some like real knockoff sort of ideas. Sort of like, it's almost Harry Potter, but it's not quite Harry Potter. It's sort of like Star Wars, but it's not like Star Wars. That's what we're going to be going for in this park. I think it'll be kind of funny. I already really like some of the names you guys came up with. So please hit us up, because yeah, we'll totally take it into consideration when we start building. Particularly when we do, because of course we're going to have some sort of Jurassic Park ride, but you know, it's not going to be Jurassic Park, it'll be something else. Who knows what it's going to be? It's going to be sick no matter what. But like I said, I did want this area to be quite bustling, and what I thought would be a good idea to create that is to make sure that there are actually a lot of stores within this area. So you will see me place down a fair amount of customized shops that will sit in each of these storefronts. And I will also end up placing down some rides in the next episodes that are sort of nestled into these shops. Something that I'm a little bit torn between doing, because basically when I do it, then we do get a lot more people hanging around this area. But then I also don't like the fact that I do have hidden rides in the park. I sort of don't want hidden rides. I know it's a bit dumb, but I sort of just want to make sure that everything is exactly how it should be in a park. I don't know, in the back of my mind, if I know that people are hanging around because there's a hidden Ferris wheel somewhere within these hotels, I don't know, that doesn't feel right to me, so I don't know if I'll definitely do it. However, I think I will have to do it for at least the first little while within this park, because we will be playing with money enabled, so I do want to make sure that we are making a profit, because my god, wouldn't it be a real shame to end up tanking and going bankrupt after all the hard work I've been doing. Hey, I just created a really cool shopfront right there. That is a 50s style cafe or restaurant with a car sort of smashed into the side of the wall, which I thought was pretty cool. That's actually similar to what Hard Rock does. I've seen a lot of Hard Rock Cafe that have cars that smashed into it, which I think looks really cool. I thought I'd do something similar, except that one is kind of like a 1950s style restaurant, which I actually want to do at a couple other spots because I really love that look. And yeah, I think like Parkitect has some really nice colors, those sort of pastel colors that I think match this sort of theme of the 1950s pretty well. So now I'm starting to work on my Hard Rock Cafe, except it's not Hard Rock Cafe. I don't know what it's called. If you guys have an alternate universe, $2 Studios style of Hard Rock Cafe, then yeah, hit me up in the comments section. But I thought instead of a big guitar, I thought instead we'll have a drum kit. So this is me trying out a 3D style drum kit, and like we'll get in there. I don't mind the way that one looks, but I don't know, I feel like I could have done better. So I don't end up keeping this design. I end up deleting that 3D version of it, and I'll end up creating a 2D version, so that it's a bit more like a sign rather than something that is it's this physical big thing that sits on top of the shop. But basically, like the cafe itself, I wanted to look somewhat plain. Obviously doing a fair amount of detail, but I will end up just creating a pretty basic looking cafe or restaurant that will sit there, nothing really themed. But I guess the theming would be jazz or rock or something like that, or music. So I guess like the theming lies within the actual grounds of it. But the actual design itself, I liked this angle that was already sitting here, that I sort of accidentally created, this horizontal diagonal section, and I really loved that because it sort of shows that the building is directing people towards the gate of the park, and I really liked that. And I also wanted this to be somewhat special. It's like quite an important, iconic area for this commercial district. So I thought, you know what, let's actually play with that and try and make that the entrance. So I really love that is a diagonal entrance, and I thought that this would be a good spot to actually place down the drum kit. So yeah, just choosing like a color scheme, I decided to go for red. I thought that was pretty cool, and yeah, just keeping it pretty basic. I decided just to keep it pretty basic. Kind of looks a bit like a gremlin or a devil or something like that. I don't know, maybe the red colors sort of give it that vibe, but I don't know, it sort of like looks like a gremlin or something holding two two pitchforks or something like that. And then I thought I'd do some lighting around it too, because there would be, there's going to be a fair amount of time when we hit nighttime, and I wanted to make sure that we had some pretty nice lighting, because the lighting in this game is pretty decent. Ended up downloading a couple of packs of lights too, which are really nice. Actually, I wanted to ask you guys a question, because I'm very much used to City Skylines and the way that the mods work within that game. And basically, with the mods for City Skylines, it's a little bit dangerous, because when you are subscribed to a mod and then, I don't know, something is to happen, or there's a glitch, or the mod becomes outdated, or there's an update and something goes wrong, then the mod can cause a lot of, you could lose your save game basically. And I've just been downloading pretty much any mods for Parkitect without even thinking about that. So my question to you guys is, how safe is it to download mods for Parkitect? Have any one of you guys experienced a mod breaking your save game or ruining your progress or something like that? Because that's something I wasn't taking into account when subscribing to mods, and now that I've subscribed to a whole bunch of them. So for instance, I am also using a whole bunch of the trees, the new really beautiful looking trees from the workshop. Like if I was to unsubscribe to that collection, will I then break my game? I don't know. I'm a little bit nervous about that. So please let me know in the comment section, because yeah, I would hate for that to happen if I've just subscribed to a couple of mods that are a little bit more unreliable. So yeah, please let me know. But yeah, also detailing the interior of that place, because I am going to be doing a fair amount of detailing of the interior, at least the areas that you're going to be seeing from this isometric view, because we're obviously not going to go down to the first person view at all. That's not something that I'm interested in. But that whole cafe, I really love the way that looks. It's very, just wanted to give it like that very family vibe of, restaurant. And I think that having lots of tables there, because it's probably, the capacity is quite high, being such a, well-known restaurant within the park. And now I'm doing this. I really love this one. I think this turns out great. So this is like obviously a candy store, and it just sits on this another diagonal, but the actual entrance to it is, within this little, what do you call it? Little groove within the building. I love it. I think it turns out so great. I just went to town, really detailing it with lots of the candy and chocolate and stuff like that. It was obviously introduced with the adventure DLC. Yeah, I love it. I think it turned out great. And now I'm starting to work very much closer to the entrance of the park. So I thought, you know what, let's get an information kiosk right here. So yeah, just place down a little eye, of course. That's like the universal symbol for information. And yeah, it's just like a small little building, and I thought, you know what, let's actually get some stuff in the inside of this building. And I thought, you know what, let's just place down a couple of, I don't know, maybe like stands. Maybe they've got postcards and hats and things like that. And I just really love it. I think this turns out really nice. It just shows the sort of stuff that I want to be doing in Parkitect, just detailing up these areas quite well. And, next episode, when we actually press play and watch people walk in and interact with the whole environment, it's going to look really cool seeing people, actually walk in and out of this area. Although, I really do hate one of the biggest criticisms I have of this game is I really hate the way that the people just walk around very aimlessly, as if they're not, they've got no purpose. Like, none of them are going towards a particular thing. Like, I would really love it if they had paths, so if Jack decided that he wanted to go get, something from the information kiosk, I would like to see him make a direct path to the information kiosk rather than just like walking around like an idiot. Because a lot of them are just, they don't seem to have any purpose. They're just sort of like walking around, like maybe I'll go here, maybe I'll go there. And I really don't like that. Alright, last build is potentially my favorite section. And this is an arcade area that I just really love. I created my own arcade games that sit in here, basically just using the shapes and just placing down anything that looked a little bit electronic. And I just think it just turns out so cool. I really love it. And I'll end up placing a motion simulator within the grounds or within the building of this arcade. I will end up keeping that one because I think that fits in with the same theme of an arcade center. So that sort of gives you a bit of an idea of what I want to be doing in terms of the types of buildings that we end up placing and the types of rides we end up placing within those buildings. But I love it. I think this turns out great. And I wanted to give a bit more of a vibe of, games being played and stuff like that. So I ended up placing a whole bunch of different colored lights within this area. And something that really makes this come to life, makes it really feel like an arcade center, is end up placing flashing lights. It just changes the mood so much. So you'll see that in the cinematics, which is pretty much upon us. But guys, thank you so much for all the love with Parkitect. We have a kind of like a special little group here that are really interested in Parkitect, a little bit different to my City Skylines guys, and I really love it. I really love that you guys are keen on this game, and please just keep those comments coming, keep the suggestions coming, because the more enthusiasm you show for this, the more and more reliable I will be actually releasing Parkitect videos. So please keep them coming. But before I go, I do want to give a special shout outs to some of my patrons like Matt Robertson, Matthew Lewis, and Ronan Kelly. Guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!